Paul Stoll, thanks for coming on. How you been?
Been good. Thanks for having me, man.
Hey, it's our pleasure. Hapoel Jerusalem, Saratov in Russia on Wednesday. They flew out there just the other day. What can be expected? I heard it's minus 18 degrees and snowing. We don't get that often out here.
It's gonna be cold. That's what can be expected. It's gonna be real cold, even inside the gym. But it's exciting. It'll be good. They got a really good team. I've watched them a lot. They're always on TV here, and it's Jerusalem.
hmm Did you watch their game against Maccabi? They recently beat them at home.
I did not. I didn't. I don't really know the links, but a lot of the Euro Cup games are on TV here, so I was watching them in that.
Well, you know Jerusalem, Dante Smith, Danny Franco, people you played against. What can you tell us are the preparations that you're doing for this game going into it? Who do you really want to lock down?
We watched video a little bit, but we haven't. I mean, we traveled all day today, so tomorrow we're gonna kind of get into that a lot more. But I mean, we know they have a lot of big names. I mean, they have big names over there, guys that have played in high levels and I think there's no one player you have to lock down. I mean, I know I've played with Dante. I mean, he's a great player, and I've played against probably almost all the other guys.
hmm
So I think that they're the type of team with so many players that from one game to the next, I mean, anybody can have a big game. So you got to just try to play as honest as possible and just try to take away what guys do well.
Right. Well, your team going in from the number 2 seed in the previous bracket to Jerusalem barely making the cut. Playing at home, do you think that gives you somewhat of an edge because you do have some savvy players?
I don't know about an edge. I mean, everybody's 0-0 again. So I don't think an edge. I think the edge would be that we're at home. We have some good fans, and we're probably more used to the weather than they will be.
hmm
It's going to be cold, but I don't think there's an advantage really besides just the home court.
What kind of fans? Is it home court like, Haifa, like Tel Aviv? What are we talking? How many people are we expecting?
I mean, not like Tel Aviv or Jerusalem or nothing, but probably like 3,000.
hmm
Small, but they make noise and they get after it. They get into the game, so it's good.
hmm So you mentioned Dante, right? Obviously, you played with him. You won the championship for Haifa. It was a historic game. You beat David Blatt in the finals. Did you speak to him at all? Because he's just coming off one assist shy of a triple-double against Maccabi Tel Aviv, and he's looking really good.
We speak like once in a while. It's not like one of those things where it's often or anything, but it's one of those relationships. I think like when you see the guy or you talk to him, you just kind of pick up where you left off. But yeah, we talk every once in a while, and I mean, yeah, me and Dante go back to Venezuela playing against
hmm
each other. So yeah, he's a great player, and honestly, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, he scored 30 our first game ever together when we played the Warriors. So I mean, almost a triple
Yeah,
double against Maccabi. That's not really. I expect that from him.
for sure. You mentioned Maccabi, Paul, and obviously over here, it's kind of a shocker that they didn't make the top 16, first time ever in franchise history. Were you at all surprised? Share with us how it looks like from the other side of the pond.
I was stunned, to be honest. Like I was just like, wow, Maccabi's like. I don't know. I just figured there was some way that similar to Jerusalem, they'd get down in the standings and then they'd make a run and somehow get in at the end. Because I think they were in a similar situation the year they actually won the EuroLeague. If I'm
hmm
not mistaken, they had to win a bunch of games towards the end to even like qualify. And then
Yeah.
I figured they'd kind of just sneak in there and make a run and then do it, but they didn't. So that was surprising. But I don't know. I mean, they
Well,
got a lot of guys that it seems like at the same position though. So I think that's interesting.
Well, given the fact that you're a point/combo guard, you mentioned guys in the same position, Taylor Rochester, Yogev Ohayon, Jordan Farmar, a lot of high caliber names. Obviously, we're not, but are you surprised that backcourt didn't work out?
Um, I've heard about Rochestie. I've heard about Farmar. I wasn't sure how they really played, but then a lot of people told me those guys need the ball. And then I figured, okay, Ohayon, he's always going to play. He's Israeli. He's one of the better Israelis, so he needs minutes.
Right.
So I just figured you have three guys at one position and it's not like any of them are 6'4", 6'5". I mean, they're not small to be a two guard, but EuroLeague, they're not big either to be a shooting guard. So if you wanted to do, like a 2-point guard, I think they're still a little too small. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I don't get paid to be the
Right.
GM and owner and all that, so let them
So,
do that.
right. So you broke it down. What would you say the stakes are in June? Your favorites, Jerusalem, Maccabi, to win it all. Can Hapoel do it back to back?
For sure. I mean, they have Dante, so I mean that's
So it's
just,
Dante
just
against everybody else.
I mean, I honestly I have a lot of respect for him. I played against him, played him with him. I mean, he's probably one of the best players I've ever played with, and I watched him this year, and when he really wants to play and he's locked in, which I'm sure against Maccabi or against anybody in the playoffs he will be. I mean, I don't think they'll lose.
What do you suspect the first thing he says to you will be when you see him in the gym? Some small talk. What do you think he'll tell you?
I don't know if I can say that on camera.
So something you might throw his way then.
uh, I don't know. Just talking stuff to him, speaking a little bad words in Spanish that he knows.
Right. Any of you raising the stakes, betting on the game?
Betting on the game, our game.
Yes.
Come on, man! I'm not like Pete Rose.
Let's go right ahead. So Paul, you won the championship with Haifa in Israel. You've kind of had an up and down career since. I know Haifa played the Lakers, and you were supposed to go see that game. There was maybe some even chatter that you might want to come back. Was that ever a possibility? Do you see yourself playing in Israel again?
I'd love to play in Israel. I've actually tried to play in Jerusalem. Um, After my first year, I had a little bit of interest from them.
Well, Venezuela against Mexico, you had your fair share of battles against Gregory Vargas. You're on camera, so try and be delicate. But what do you think of him? Because he's really having a good season thus far.
I think he's a good player. He is. He's a tough guy. Like he's a tough dude, and I respect him because he plays hard. He plays the right way. He plays super hard. But yeah, I mean, I can say that. He's a solid player and he plays hard.
This is kind of sensitive, but I know you had a very personal, lifelong relationship with the late Nate Huffman, both you and your father. Can you share with us a little bit how it was, the process that he was going through, and you were there right by his side, physically right by his bed, and you also attended his funeral. How shocked were you? I think I was even the person who told you that he was that ill.
Yeah. Well, he'd call my dad, and my dad didn't even tell me that same day actually because I think he knew I was going to be upset. And then you had told me, so I called my dad, and my dad was just like, yeah, basically was telling me that he spoke to Nate and everything like that. But I mean, it was shocking because Nate was a really good guy. He was like one of us. He was one of our guys, as me and my dad or like my family would say. I watched him. He was one of my examples. He was one of the reasons that I love basketball and why I worked so hard, because I saw how he transformed himself from a skinny 190-pound junior college player to 250-pound man playing for the Raptors, and just every day getting after it, weights in the gym. I mean, shooting, working out. He was relentless, and I was really blessed that he was in my life. And it was real sad for me and my dad, my whole family, because we were all real close to Nate. But I mean, I figure now he's up there helping me, so I just got to keep trying to do the best I can to try to make him proud while he's up there helping me out.
Well, definitely. It seems like, he is a legend, and it does seem like he's watching after you. 18 points a game. You're shooting almost 60% from three. New Year's resolution. Who is going to win? Saratov or Hapoel Jerusalem?
Well, if I'm playing for which team?
Just the game on Wednesday, Paul. Don't try and be smart.
If I'm playing, I'm gonna always bet on myself.
Okay.
But we'll see what happens.
Paul, I appreciate you coming on. Thanks so much.
All right, no problem.
Good luck.